everyone, Vincenzo here with a new ukulele tutorial. This week, let's work on chord melody. The goal of this lesson is to teach you how a chord melody arrangement works. You will start from a simple melody and you will learn the process I use to write chord melody arrangements. But before starting with this, let me tell you a few things about chord melody. When you play a chord melody, you want to play chords and melody at the same time. To give you an idea, this is similar to what you would do on a piano. You should have in mind that the melody should always be the top note, meaning the highest note in pitch. It's down to you to decide how many chords to play. You can even play a chord for every note if you want to. From a technical point of view, chord melody works very well with the appropriate fingerstyle technique. You could be using 3 fingers or 4 depending on how you like to play. However, you can even just use your thumb and it's perfectly fine. In fact, this is what I will do for this tutorial, so that you can focus more on what is happening with the left hand. Having said that, let's see how you can create a chord melody arrangement now. I wrote a melody for this tutorial, which goes like this: 3, 4. But of course there's something missing, the chords. Let's play the melody again, but this time with the chords in the background. 3, 4. Okay, so as you can see, the chords are relatively simple: A minor, C, F, and G. Now let's start arranging. So the first note of the melody was A, first string open. Remember, you want this to be the top note, and the chord you want to play is A minor. So what you can do is simply play A minor on beat 1. This way you're playing chord and melody at the same time. You see? Then you have A and G. And here for the moment you can just play the melody. In fact, you don't always have to play chords. So far you have this. Then the next note of the melody is this one, C. And you're playing it on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Here the chord is C, so you can simply add the C, like that. For now you're just playing the simplest possible chords, and then you will see how to change them. Let's play the first half of the melody now. 3, 4. It's quite simple, but you already have a chord melody. You carry on, and now the next note you need to play is B. I'm playing it on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. This is the first time you have a note in the melody that is actually not part of the chord that you want to play, because the chord here is F. So what do you do? Well, you can play F major and then add the B on top. Remember, the melody always has to be the top note. So you get this interesting chord. It's an F major with the sharp 4. Then you carry on with the melody and you have 2 A's. Let's play the chord melody until now. 3, 4. Okay, now you have the last part of the melody, which is this. Here you have a similar situation as before. Because you play a note that, whilst harmonically part of the chord, it's not part of the most common G major shape, this one. Therefore, what you can do is play G and with your pinky reach fret number 5. So you get a G5 rather than a G major, but that still works. Then for fret number 3, you keep the index and the ring finger where they are and you put your pinky on fret number 3. You get a G sus4, which is a nice chord to use instead of G. So you get this. You have now completed a simple yet effective chord melody. Let's play it from the beginning. 3, 4. Of course, this is a simple version. In fact, you can play more chords and also make some more changes. Let's try to do this now. So the first thing that you can do is actually change the A minor to a chord that is a little bit more interesting but still very easy to play. A sus4. You have fret number 2 on the 4th and the 3rd string, and the 2nd and the 1st string open. Then you have open A string, and then you have a G. Before you didn't play any chord here. This time let's add a G. This is actually a G5 because you're not playing the major 3rd B. You might be wondering why I'm not playing a full G chord like this, but remember you want the melody to be the highest note. If I was to play this G, then B would be the highest note and therefore the melody would change. Then you had the C major, but let's change it to this. So 2nd fret on the 4th string, 3rd string open, and then fret 3 on the 2nd and on the 1st string. This is a C6 without the 3rd, which sounds very nice. Now let's put everything together. 3, 4. Okay, let's carry on. Because the part with the F major sharp 4 was already quite interesting, you can leave it as it was. But let's work on something a bit more interesting for the last 2 beats. So here the note has to be a D, which you have on fret number 5. Now, one thing that you can do in chord melodies is to make chord substitutions. Without going too much into music theory, what I mean by chord substitutions is that you can try to use other chords that work very well in that key. Don't forget that you want to keep D as the top note, so you can try chords that work around this note. For example, an easy option could be D minor 7, meaning you're just gonna play fret number 5 on all the strings. You can try with other chords as well, for example E minor 7, or C add 9, or even B diminished 7. Remember, you need to have D as the highest note. But anyway, I liked D minor 7 more, so I'm gonna use it. The last note was on fret number 3, and it was a C. Now, I'm coming from this chord, so it might be easier to play the C here, on fret number 8 of the 2nd string. But instead of playing only one note, let's add something else. Remember, the chord was a G major. I have a G on the 7th fret, and I also have a G on the open string. So I can actually play them both, and I get this. This sounds like a G sus4, and I like it. Let's put everything together now, starting from F. 3, 4. And now let's play this entire chord melody. 3, 4. As you can see, this one sounded more interesting when compared to the first arrangement you learned. The aim of this tutorial was to start exploring chord melody. Of course, there is more to discuss, for example, how you choose different chords to add to your arrangements. But this is definitely a topic that needs a tutorial on its own. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. Now, on my Patreon page, you can find the tabs and the backing track to practice these chord melodies that you learned today. Moreover, you have an MP3 file with the chord melodies played for you. By the way, if you want to learn more about chord melodies, check out this tutorial for Brahms' Lullaby, which is quite an easy one. Or instead, if you want to play something a bit more challenging, try Spring by Vivaldi. One more thing, don't forget that if you learned something from this video and you would like to say thank you, you can buy me a coffee, link in the description. That's all for now. Let me know in the comments if everything was clear. And if you want to take your playing to the next level, have a look at my free course here on YouTube and download my free 8-step roadmap, link in the description, that will tell you the exact process I follow to learn the ukulele. Moreover, check out the other links in the description to learn more about the types of classes that I got available at the moment. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my new tutorials. Having said that, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next week. Ciao!